Welcome to COD Squad. In today's video we are talking about Warzone update. A new season for Modern Warfare 3 in Warzone means a new update, and that also means new gameplay changes. Today we're running down a various number of things larger that I feel we didn't quite get to touch on too much with the blog reveal. Some unmentioned stuff, some confirmed changes, but also some things like some fixes and adjustments to the game that are much needed. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more Modern Warfare to be on the lookout for. Firstly, let's start with multiplayer here in the gameplay related sense. Let's talk about some features, or really one in particular because we mentioned it in the blog post, but because there was so much we had to get to, we didn't really get to break down too much of it, that being the Ninja vest. This is a new vest that comes along as your sort of basis for how you want to play the game, but it comes along with a tactical, a lethal, and a field upgrade slot, and the gear slots of gloves, boots, and gear. But the bonuses of this, or what it rather does as its advantage, is that it eliminates footstep sounds, it's immune to movement ruction effects, and if you take either of them you get a bonus shuriken or throwing knife, and the ability to resupply that shuriken and throwing knife every 25 seconds, so kind of getting resupply on those two specific things. Now of course duplicate effects do not stack, and if equipped with covert sneakers you're going to end up gaining the ability of running sneakers by default, so just giving you a sneaker set that makes sure that you don't double up on the same genuine effect. But this is a new gameplay feature that I think will allow for use for a lot of different play styles that people will enjoy it. I honestly might start to main this, because you can use things like your lightweight boots, your tactical pads, all because you don't have to sacrifice that boot slot for that covert sneaker for those silent footsteps, having the ability to have that defaulted, while also being able to, say, increase that tack sprint, which I love to do, or that overall movement speed of the lightweight boots. That is huge. That was one of the big reasons why I didn't ever really like to run dead silence or covert sneakers in the first place. So now having the ability for both of those, that's going to be pretty big. But anyways, beyond that, let's talk about some gameplay fixes for multiplayer, because truthfully there's not been a whole ton of gameplay altering features that have been mentioned officially just yet. But on the fixes side of things, changes coming with this next update. We know of a few things already, with a fix scheduled, meaning that Sledgehammer has acknowledged this and said that there is something that is going to be coming with this next update over on their Trello board. Firstly, the store ender not interacting with certain streaks is apparently going to have a fix here for it. For those that don't realize, sometimes the Storm EIS does not take out streaks as it's supposed to do. There are further fixes for the XRK Stalker no stock. There's another fix for the field of view bug inbound, and fixes for issues with the Kimbo in zombies. They did also mention they are going to be investigated fixes through the Trello board, including ranked play issues of the time stat not being properly tracked in the CDL hardpoint scoreboard, and loadout restrictions not actually restricting certain items at some points, and in zombies some camo challenges are not tracking properly, along with Act 3 being unable to be completed with the story missions are not tracking properly, along with Act 3 being unable to be completed with the story mission in some certain instances, and players are reported losing their contents of their acquisition stashes following an X-bill. That should have a fix as well. Now realistically, when you take a look at things that have been reported here, that's not a whole ton of stuff in the grand scheme things, but that's where we can turn to hopeful changes here with this, because a lot of things sought from the community trailer board, something managed by Chat of Duty, a great dude within the community that has set up a trailer board by the community for the community that has a ton of issues visible. Fingers crossed this gets seen by the devs as well, because I'll be totally honest with you, the trailer boards are not kept up with nearly as much as I think they should be by Sledgehammer and Raven. So anyways, additional things that have been seen in the community are glitch spots, both intentional and unintentional. Sometimes spawns will have glitched spots where it puts you outside of the map or something, and then there's also additional out of bounds exploits that are out there. There's an issue that still persists where players will be kicked for inactivity even if they are moving. I've had that happen to me before as well. Some streak UI persists after exiting or dying in them. There's general UI issues. Lastly, one that I personally had there is an infinite wrench bug, and we're not sure what caused this entirely, but whenever I set up a barricade I came out of that and could not bring any of my guns up until I died. But I was just like an air, just wrenching. Something wasn't there for a long time, so kind of comical, but something that obviously still should not happen. That's the multiplayer stuff that we know about in regards to coming changes, features and other things. But let's jump over to Warzone. because there are a few things that are actually pretty cool. Firstly, starting with some unmentioned additions here to the quality of life and gameplay we ended up seeing from some of the gameplay that was sourced and posted by those that went to TR to play Fortune's Keep and Resurgence ranked the day or two before the blog post, and when Season 2 was revealed that the gameplay build they had, which is going to be the launch build assumably for Season 2, that build had a couple of things in it. Firstly, that precision airstrike notification that Raven teased a week or two ago that is apparently present with this Season 2 build, which is definitely cool, gives you that heads up if you are in that range of it. Certainly love that both in the enemy and friendly category, but also there was another thing that there is a red ring on the mini-map to indicate if a UAV is active and if you are in that radius of the UAV, so giving you just a little heads up. They recently added a AO back to it saying enemy UAV inbound or something like that. But now to have that actually on a visible thing, that if you didn't hear that audio cue, you'll have that information that, oh, maybe I'm a little bit out in the open here, maybe I'm in a vulnerable position, so that just gives you extra health and definitely is a nice thing to see, I think. And then on Fortune's Keep there was the ability to flood certain areas as shown off in the trailer, but that's the features that we've seen again publicly that we haven't really quite been able to talk about in terms of Trello and fixes. Well, so far there's nothing that's been detailed as a fix scheduled. Everything is listed as investigating, because as far as I can tell the board has not been moderated or updated since January 19th, so it's very possible that some of these have fixes, maybe all of them, or maybe vice versa, and maybe none of them have fixes or only some of them have fixes. But anyways, perk packages not equipping properly has been mentioned and officially stated by Raven. This was their post-Season 1 Reloaded. There was that workaround here that I don't know if that was ever fixed out, but the issue was that the perk packages were equipping the class next to or after whatever you selected. So if you selected your creative class slot number 1, it would give you the perks on the creative class slot number 2, so that should have a fix here coming. The map distortion, you know, that giant rift in the hillside between 11 Resort and Pop-Off Power where it's like a straight up earthquake happened and the tectonic plates shifted. There's a giant fault line, yeah, that should be going away. Obviously that was never meant to be there. Issues with the senders are still persisting, that should have some fixes. An inconsistency with armor plates as well still persists, so again those have all been listed as investigating, but whether or not they are all fixed, some are fixed or not, or fixed, we don't quite know just yet. Then community reports again coming back to Chad's Trello board, players can spawn under the map when releasing from the good. That's been something that's been an issue since Season 1 Reloaded as well. There should hopefully be a fix here for that. KBAM players or keyboard and mouse players are sometimes forced into a standing position after initiating a revive in a prone stance. Footstep audio and occlusion still needs work, but occlusion in particular not working properly through some surfaces is something that's come up recently. Hit detection being buggy on the train, that's been persistent since Season 1 launched as well, but that should, fingers crossed, have some adjustments to it. But that's it, that is the changes we know about within Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. This was the all updates that are important, and if you like our content then do not forget to subscribe, and see you on next video. Goodbye.
So all eyes on me, live life of a thug nigga till the day I die. Live the life of a boss player, all eyes on me.